Hi, good morning. Hi, good morning. So hi, I'm sorry for my face, I'm sorry for my voice. I just woke up, and the reason why I'm doing this now is because I tried to record this yesterday and the audio sounded like this. Hi, good morning. So yeah, not very good. So what we're gonna do today is something to me really exciting, which is I'm always gonna talk about, different lifestyles and how I want to live my life. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna share with you as always, as you've seen in the other videos. But I think today I just wanted to talk about also like different lifestyles than the one compared to the ones that I actually want to live. And so it came to me that I want to make it more fun, a little bit more interactive and light, other than me just sitting here and yapping for so long. And so the way I want to do this is through a tier list of lifestyles, which is gonna offend everybody, and I love that. So we can start, I guess. So I divided every, let's say, lifestyle that people follow, that I've seen in society nowadays, in the Western society mostly, in 10 different ones. The 10 categories are the finance bro, of course, the digital hermit, which is basically just a hermit in general, the ethical conscious one, the 24/7 activist, the party animal, the digital nomad, the biohacker, the tortured artist, the pop culture lover, and the extreme minimalist. So starting right up with we're evolving. How cool. So yeah, this is the tier list. We're gonna go from D tier to S tier. S tier is of course like the best lifestyle. By the way, I'm talking about best lifestyle from my point of view. Alright. So the one that I would like to follow. Alright. And not necessarily like if you're following it and I put you in D tier, you're a D tier person. Not at all. Maybe you can be also a horrible person, but I don't know that. So I'm just talking about what works for me. So, okay, let's start. So the first one is the finance bro. Fun. So description. He lives for money. Works 16 hours a day, often on Wall Street or in finance, but not necessarily, Talks only about investments, cryptocurrencies, and grind culture. He drinks coffee like water and has a wardrobe full of blazers and expensive sneakers. I like sneakers too, by the way, so nothing against that. He knows the name of at least 5 cryptocurrencies, but still lives in a tiny apartment, so to save for investments. He starts every morning with a black coffee and a motivational podcast titled something like Hustle Harder. Has a wall of books they've never read, but loves quoting from Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Anyone? As you can see, this is clearly the finance bro. Freaking shits. Amazing. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see. Yes you can. Anyways, so the finance bro. So I have a very conflicted. It's actually not conflicted. I perfectly know my opinion on this, but I'm gonna try to tame it down a bit. So my opinion on this is that most of the time, chill. Like if you're into work, if you're into money, all this stuff, like just chill. First of all, because money is a made-up concept, and it's true that it leads modern society, but it's also a made-up concept. So chill. Also, I think the problem is not necessarily the fact that you love your work or that you are into the culture of work and of money and of consumerism and stuff, but I think most of the time who I've met, let's say, and who I've seen, their mindset is so into that they forget about everything else. And also, say they want money, they want to find ways to make more money, but I don't think most of the time they know why they want money. Like, of course, cars, houses, okay, you reach all of that, then what? Are you gonna help others? If you're gonna do that to help others, that's really cool. But again, this is my take. So, sorry about this, but we start hard with a D tier. For me, I would never want to be a finance bro. Even though I've had like cryptocurrency and NFT projects and whatever, but I think like it's just a different way of approaching life. And like for me, my life is not work. My life is my life. and so yeah, it just doesn't work for me. But going on with the digital hermit, he has withdrawn from society. Damn, that was a horrible pronunciation, sorry. Or at least from social media. He lives in a cabin on a countryside home, growing their own food, doesn't watch Netflix, reads physical books, and thinks Wi-Fi is an unnecessary luxury. And then he gets frustrated when people ask for their phone number instead of just dropping by, you know. Has a backyard garden, but secretly struggles to keep their tomatoes alive. Thinks they're morally superior because they've never seen a Marvel movie. If you've never seen a Marvel movie, you're morally inferior. Just kidding, of course kidding. But I'm a big fan. So this fellow right here is a hermit, I don't know. And I think what is really cool about this, I'm really biased about this, by the way, because I think everybody should live like this, even though I have like a little bit of problems. So I think what you're doing right now is just escaping from a reality that exists, which is not necessarily something good in any case. Like, not in any case, but in most cases it's like, why are we doing that? So we are fixing a lot of problems with, for example, the environment. You're giving up on technology and whatever, which I think it's really cool. But I think the problems are two. The first one is isolation, because we're still animals of, you know, company, like to keep company to each other. And the second one is that it's not realistic. I mean, like, how many people do you actually know that could do this? Like, they wake up, they go outside of society and just change their lives to this extent. How realizable is this? And I think not a lot. So I'm gonna put it in S tier. So then we have the ethical conscious one. So the ethical conscious one, I think it's interesting to be compared to the hermit. The hermit, it's a bit the extreme step of the ethical conscious one. So it buys only sustainable products, it's vegan, and tries to live with the smallest environmental footprint possible. Knows the carbon footprint of everything and loves to discuss alternative systems to save the planet. They will walk 3 miles to buy unpackaged soap, but they will drive a hybrid car everywhere else. They always correct people who say vegan cheese with its cashew spread. And they make DIY skincare product, but they have never tested them on more than one patch of skin, you know. So the ethical conscious one, I actually really like this one. Of course, I'm just gonna joke about all of them because why should I not, right? So if you got offended, I'm sorry, but it's not personal. It's just, we're just laughing here, chill. Anyways, this is the ethical conscious one. This fellow girl getting beats, I think, from the market. So I think this is the way to declass our hermit, because, and I'm going to tell you immediately, because this is a very conscious and realistic way to live your life. Like, you can implement a lot of good habits in your life and being ethical about it, thinking about the environment, thinking about other people and whatever. And I think like this really has no downsides except for a little sacrifices, but like it's okay, like we should make sacrifices in order to make the planet and things better. So I think like this goes to S tier because it's really realistic, you know? And yeah, moving on, I think like nothing much to say about this. So we're at number 4, which is the 24/7 activist, which is also interesting. So they're always on the front lines, both online and offline, for social, political, and or environmental causes. They share petitions, attend protests, and constantly work to raise awareness about important issues. This person has a wardrobe full of protest t-shirts and tote bags from NGOs. I know you have them. You can't hide. I know you have them. It's okay. It's okay. They're really cool. They share the same petition 5 times a week because nobody's signing it. Share it 6 times. Honestly, I support you. And then they carry a reusable water bottle everywhere, but forget it at the protests or places, just in general. And then I know that's you. Just don't try to hide. So anyways, I don't know why it's a kid. I don't know why I chose a kid, but hey, let's educate them young, you know? So the activist, this is really cool because I've seen, okay, I'm gonna tell you, if this was a lifestyle that you're following generally, you're an S tier. But I'm gonna tell you why I'm not gonna put you in S tier. Because I think most of the times this becomes more extreme rather than actually thought of, and I think it becomes too extreme on one side or the other. On one side is somebody that really cares about something and really advocates for that, and it's really cool, but then is kind of a horrible person for all the other things. That's, follow me. Like, if it's more mildly integrated to all the rest, I think it will be better. And I've seen this a lot. Or the other way. So somebody that is so into everything that's important, not just one concept, that actually like can't follow all of it in a right way. You know, it's really cool that you're trying. And I am trying to for a lot of things. But the thing is, like, I've seen people with social media now, it's so easy. Like, just getting a title of something that happened, just reposting it, and it's a horrible news, and it's very good that you're sharing it. But then we found out that it was just like fake news or without context, just put out there because it's activism, you know, which I think happens a lot. So I think if this becomes something very genuine, you're an S tier. Otherwise, I'm gonna put you still in A tier because it's really noble, and I think like this would be a great way to live your life. Also, personally, I would love to live my life like that, but I think it's very important to know the context of things and to, yeah, do it genuinely and not just to be activist, you know, which I think can be done. So it's still an A tier, which is great, you know. So number 5, and we're halfway through, it's the party animal. So the party animal, yes, it's more of a personality trait, but I also put it as, you know, a very out there person, a very sociable person, which I am not. And this doesn't mean that I wouldn't want to be. Like I'm so proud of you for being that. But yeah, he lives in a for the weekend and from Friday nights. It goes on from one event to the other, from raves to private parties. Often the king or the queen of social media thanks to hilarious late night posts and stories. So the party animal has at least one funny story involving an inflatable flamingo or a stranger. You do, nothing you can do about it. Can flow through your sight every word to a trashy pop song from 2012. You do, you can't hide. And always ends up eating fries at 3 a.m. no matter the night's vibe. I do too, I can't hide. So anyways, the party animal, this is a very like, I think positive personality type in the sense of like, if you're doing bad things, you're doing them towards yourself and not towards others, so you can't really say anything bad about it. But talking about the lifestyle, I've seen a lot of people surrounded by friends because they're very outgoing, very like the life of the party and whatever, but then when they need something, they found themselves alone because they didn't actually shape, you know, valuable deep conversations and relationships with the people that they have around them. But I think like it's a, you know, it's a tame problem that can be solved by the fact that you don't have the problem to meet new people, you know, so that's really good. And I think like I couldn't live this lifestyle. And it's not like just social anxiety or whatever, which I'm trying to, you know, get past. But I think it's literally just like, to me it would be so too much. So I'm gonna put it in B tier. Having said this, it is not a bad, like, it's good, like, good for you. Honestly, I would like to be like you, so keep it up. But for me, like, I couldn't. So talking about the next one, oh, by the way, I didn't show you. Yes, so this one, you know, B tier. Going towards the end, we have the digital nomad. So it works wherever there's a Wi-Fi connection. It changes countries every month and posts picture with a laptop on the beach. Claims to be always traveling, but actually spends a lot of time hunting for power outlets. Makes sense. They post laptop on the beach photos, but they're secretly just using the hotel Wi-Fi. They have a favorite co-working space in at least 3 countries. That's so cool. Uses phrases like, I'll ping you later to everyone, including friends. Anyways, this gets an S tier, I think. And I'm gonna tell you why, because I think the same is as the other girl. I think you're taking work the right way in the sense of like, it depends on how you live it, of course. There's always like, don't go to extremes because otherwise like you get burnout or like you won't be attached to reality. Like, you know, like just don't go to extremes. find your own reality and dimension, you know. But at the same time, like, this is very realistic, right? Like, we have the possibility to do something like this. We're very lucky in this century. But the only problem that I can see with this is like difficulty of finding relationships or stability, because you're always, you know, somewhere. Like, it's gonna be hard to find, you know, stability. But I think, like, if that's not a problem for you, like, go for it. Like, you understood that life is much more than work, but you still need work to, you know, to pay for the laptop you're working on and the trips you're taking. So it makes sense. It's good, and I'm trying to actually live this life also with this project, you know. So I think that's really good. And moving on to our next one, we do have the Biohacker. It is very specific, but I think it's becoming more and more, like, you know, existing. So the Biohacker is obsessed with optimizing their body and their mind. Only drinks butter coffee, follows a diet that changes weekly, for example, keto or paleo, you know, and tracks everything from sleep quality to blood sugar levels. They own a $300 juicer, but use it only once a week. They have more apps for tracking health than contacts on their phones. They can go anywhere without explaining benefits of cold showers. Come on, we know it's good. Chill, all right? Just kidding. We actually know it's good. So this fellow right here is gonna be this girl. So I'm gonna put in S tier, but I'm gonna explain to you why. I think it's really good. I think, like, the only problem with this, and the reason why I'm gonna put it in, I think, A tier and not S tier, is because sometimes it's too much. Like, you're trying to live in the moment so much that you keep saying, like, don't think of an elephant. Don't think of an elephant, and by doing that, you're thinking of an elephant. So I think, like, by saying, I wanna live in the present, I wanna, you know, take care of my body and whatever, you forget to live in the present and to take care of your body. Because it's just too much. Your body needs also freedom, let's say. Easiness. I don't know, man, I just woke up. Anyways, I think, like, it gets an A tier just because of this. Because, again, it is not really realistic. I would love to live like that. I try to live like that. But sometimes it's okay to slack off, you know, like, it's okay. So moving on, we have, towards the end, we have the last three, which are, first one is the tortured artist, and this is something that I've seen so many times, and maybe I'm also one of them, so I can't really complain, you know. But anyways, so lives in a tiny apartment filled with sketches, canvases, and unfinished works. Sees a beauty in tragedy and is often a tormented soul. Posts cryptic captions on Instagram and reads poetry at open mic nights. That's really cool. But I have something to say about all of this. Wait. So they spend hours staring at a black canvas and calls it a creative block. Hangs fairy lights in their studio to set the mood, but rarely turns them on. Has at least one diary filled with unreadable existential ramblings. That's me, and I'm making a YouTube videos about it now. So that's really cool. Anyways, so what's really cool about this is, of course, the creativity. You know, I'm gonna show you who I chose. Of course, it's Van Gogh. So I'm gonna put it here, just for now. Is it moving? Yes. Okay. So, tormented artist. I think, like, if you manage to change your energies from something that is bad for you, that is, you know, hurtful for you or whatever, into art, into an expression, self-expression, that's really cool. I think you should keep doing that if you do it generally. But I think a lot of people, with social media too, they're changing this whole, you know, idea of being sad to something that becomes an aesthetic. You know, I'm sad, I post about it on social media. I'm sad, I make a painting that is really sad. This can be dangerous because it leads into depression more easily than we thought. So maybe we're really sad, and this doesn't mean, by the way, that you're not sad if you make sadness an aesthetic. It doesn't mean that you're not sad, but it means that your cycle, your vocabulary is still going in circles around, you know, the fact that you're sad, and you're creating stuff that makes you feel sad because you're expressing your sadness and stuff like that. So be very careful with this. By the way, I attended an art school, so like I can talk about this. It's okay. And maybe I've been like this also, like making sadness aesthetic. And it's really cool if you manage to express yourself in, through words, through poetry, through art, through dancing, whatever it is that you do. But yeah, just be careful not to make it overwhelm you because you're, going around in circles in sadness. So I think this is a cool lifestyle. It's a cool lifestyle. It's an aesthetic lifestyle. But it's not necessarily a good lifestyle if it brings you more sadness than happiness. So I think I'm gonna put it in B tier because it's really, it's good, you create good stuff, but at the same time, you know what I mean. So then we have the pop culture lover. So they spend their day watching TV shows, Marvel movies, we love, and reality shows. They're always up to date on the latest gossip and TikTok trends. They love ranking everything. Huh? What are we doing? From celebrity couples to Met Gala outfits. That's true though, come on. Can argue for hours about why Love Island is actually a critique to society. Keeps a spreadsheet of TV shows that I've watched and those on the list. I have one, so it's okay. Can't stop saying it's giving, even though they swore to stop using TikTok slang. It's kind of like the party animal. There's nothing wrong with that. If you do it for entertainment and then I think this has to become one part of your personality, one part of your lifestyle and not the whole thing, because otherwise you're just like a consumer. And I think the next step to this is becoming from a consumer to a producer, So you're just, seeing entertainment, seeing content, for example, YouTube or a TV series, The Office, I don't know, I love The Office, stuff like that. But I think at one point, if you manage to turn this into, and I don't mean it in a, production point of view, because it's just really bad. I don't believe in the, you have to produce and go on with hustle culture and whatever. That's why the Finance Bro is down there. Fuck, no, just kidding. I love you, Finance Bros. Maybe not all of it. I'm just kidding. But anyways, so I think it can be really fun. And also I agree with the fact that you can critique society through TV shows and stuff like that. So I think it's really cool, but still be careful not to become, just a consumer and start making your own. For example, I don't know, you can have a blog where you talk about your opinions on something that you watched. So you put it also out there, it becomes a cycle and not something that you receive and you keep inside, So I think that's really cool. And I'm gonna put it in A tier, just because I would love this lifestyle and probably I'm similar to this. Wait, I'm gonna show you. So I moved the party animal to C tier, and from S tier I moved the pop culture lover to A tier, because still you have to be careful not to be just a consumer. And then we have lastly the extreme minimalist. So the extreme minimalist sold almost everything they owned to live with just a few essential items, probably claims to own only 20 things including a laptop and a reusable water bottle, believes in less is more, very good, except when it comes to Instagram posts about their lifestyle. Gotcha. Anyways, so the extreme minimalist lives in a beige apartment that looks like a Pinterest board exploded. They keep telling you their life is so much easier now, but still spends hours choosing which black shirt to wear. I know what you're doing. Has an entire drawer dedicated to reusable grocery bags because waste is the enemy. I agree, great job. So for the last one, which is this dude, I think this is a really cool lifestyle because it's actually good. We're not meant to own a lot of things, we're meant to be a lot of things. And I think with this you can focus more on yourself and others rather than the things that you have. But it is true what I wrote in the in the descriptions, that most of the times, also in this case, it becomes too extreme and it becomes a factor of aesthetic more than a factor of preference, of stuff that you think actually. So I think this is the main problem, let's say. But I think generally you're trying to be better for the environment, you're trying to, keep material things one step under yourself, which is really good because that's more important. So you can focus on stuff, but I think it still gets an A tier, because if it doesn't become too extreme, that's a really good lifestyle. If it becomes too extreme, it's just another way of being a consumer, just with prettier stuff, which I'm not against. Look at this, look at all this stuff. I love decorating and stuff, but yeah, you know what I mean. You know, as a lifestyle, I think it's really cool. So I think this is our final tier list. Yay! Look, it's really cool. I'm happy about this video. I think this video is a banger. So I re-recorded it just because I wanted to give you the best quality possible. Before going, let me know which personality, you know, combination you are, which lifestyle combination you are and you want to be. Or like, it doesn't have to be a combination. You can say, I'm a finance pro 100%, and that's cool. So let me know, please, in the comments. That always helps me, and it's cool to get to know each other. And I guess you also got to know me a little bit better. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna put my big ass face. That's me. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. Yeah, until the next one, have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye bye.